I'll be doing some introductions in case people join us along the way. There will still be time for them to get settled and participate. So welcome and thank you for joining us for this virtual arts education workshop. My name is Kristen Evangelista. I'm the director of the William Paterson University Galleries. I'm going to start by describing the format for today's event. We are going to be discussing the book, One Crazy Summer by Rita Williams Garcia. This discussion will take about 10 minutes. We're also going to do a brief audience survey during the discussion so you can have an opportunity to participate and give us some feedback about the book. Then we're going to learn about artwork from the university's art collection, and we will make a postcard together. The art program will run about 30 minutes. Due to the number of attendees, all of the participants are muted during the event, but we encourage you to ask questions. You can either use the chat if that's easier for you, or the Q&A box. We will be monitoring these, especially if you have any technical issues with viewing, please use those and we'll try to get to you right away. I'd like to thank all of those who made this event possible. The University Galleries Gallery Manager, Emily Johnsen, coordinated the event registration. Our graduate assistant, Taylor Cassisi, assembled the art kits. I'm grateful to Luca Mana, who's the executive director of PALS Plus, for nurturing this collaboration and for introducing us to two dedicated librarians, Linda Belen and Melissa Dunn, who are here with us today. We would also like to thank many other local librarians who provided us with behind the scenes assistance, in particular with the distribution of the kits. Last but not least, I want to thank our arts educator, Nadia Estela, for her creativity, her flexibility, and her expertise in planning today's activity. So to start our program, I will introduce our two librarians who will lead our book discussion. We're excited to be joined by Linda Belen, who's from the Children's Services Department at the Little Falls Library, and Melissa Dunn, who's in the Youth Services Department at the Wayne Public Library. So I turn it over to you, Linda and Melissa.
Okay, hi everybody. Thanks so much for coming today. My name is Melissa Dunn. I'm from the Wayne Public Library, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the book One Crazy Summer, which inspired the activity today. One Crazy Summer is one of my favorite books. Maybe some of you have read it, and if you haven't, maybe I hope you'll be inspired to read it after doing the art program today. So One Crazy Summer is written by Rita Williams Garcia, and you can see right away on the cover that this book has won many awards, and I'm just going to talk about some of the awards that it's won. So you can see this gold medal up here is the Scott Odell Award for Historical Fiction. And it also won a Newbery Honor Award, which is this silver one right here. And then down here, it was a National Book Award finalist. And then this medal here is the Coretta Scott King Book Award. And this is named after Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s wife, Coretta Scott King, who was also an activist. And on the award, it says, peace, nonviolent social change, and brotherhood. So that's all represented in this book as well. And it also goes into the themes of what we'll be talking about for the art project today. So those are some of the awards that this book has won. So it's a very well-regarded book. And now I'm just going to talk a little bit about the author, who is Rita Williams Garcia. She's a very prolific author. She writes children's books, and she also writes young adult books. Some of her other books are Bottle Cap Boys, like Sisters on the Home Front, and Clayton Bird Goes Underground. So if you like these books, you might also like some of her other books. She's from Queens, New York, and she's been writing her entire life. She actually says on her website that she was first published when she was only 14 years old. So some of you could be 14 as well. And, you know, it's worth, if you like to write, it's worth trying, because maybe you can be published when you're young, just like Rita Williams Garcia. I'm just going to read a line. Actually, I want to show you before I read a quote. I actually was lucky enough to meet Rita Williams Garcia at a book festival. So this is a picture of me and the author, and she was so sweet, so nice. I got to talk to her and tell her how much I loved her books and her characters. So that was a really special moment for me when I got to meet her. And then I also got her to sign my copy of the second book in the series, PSB 11. And you can see she wrote, Melissa, thank you for loving this book. Like Vonetta, it needs love. Rita Williams Garcia. So that was really special for me to have this signed copy of one of my favorite books. So before I turn it over to Linda Belen from Little Falls, I'm just going to read a quote that Rita Williams Garcia writes in the acknowledgments for One Crazy Summer. She says, I wanted to write this story for those children who witnessed and were part of necessary change. Yes, there were children. So I think the idea of necessary change and making change is very important, and it definitely works well with the theme for our craft today. So that's where I'm going to leave it. And now Linda Belen from Little Falls is going to tell you some more about the book One Crazy Summer.
Hi, everyone. Again, my name is Linda Belen, Little Falls Public Library, and I'm going to just do a quick summary of the book and tell you a little bit about it. And hopefully, if you haven't read the book, it will stir up some interest. So One Crazy Summer, as Melissa said, is a historical novel that takes place during the summer of 1968. It follows the lives of three Gaither sisters, 11-year-old Delphine, 9-year-old Vonetta, and 7-year-old Fern. The girls live in New York with their father and Big Ma. It's their grandmother. And when the story opens, they're traveling to California on their own to visit their mother, Cecile, who abandoned them 7 years ago. Now, the three girls are angry at their mother for leaving them, but desperately want to connect with her. But when the girls arrive in California, instead of finding a sweet, nurturing mother, they find a woman who's annoyed that they're there and spends all her time writing poetry in the kitchen. But most importantly, she's a member of the group called the Black Panthers. Now, the Black Panthers is a political organization founded by two college students, Huey Newton and Bobby Seale. And remember those names because they're going to come up in the art project. So it's Huey Newton and Bobby Seale. The Black Panthers started as an organization of self-defense and community activism and sought to address poverty and racism. Now, their mother sends them to a day camp run by the Black Panthers to learn all about rights and revolution, but probably more importantly, just to get them out of her hair. But what the girls really want to do is they want to visit Disneyland, the beach, and the Golden Gate Bridge. So this book deals with a lot of serious subjects, but it's also very funny. I found myself reading it and laughing out loud many times. It touches on sisterhood, siblings, mother-daughter relationships, self-awareness, and racial issues. As Melissa said, it's part of a trilogy. The second one is PSB 11 and Gone Crazy in Alabama, all on Hoopla and at your library. So if you're looking for a new series to dive into, because winter break is coming soon, you should check out these books, okay? Now, we're gonna do a brief survey. For those of you who have read the books, I'm hoping you'll join in and take a look at the questions we have and comment on them. Okay, so those of you who read the book, how would you rate it? 5 stars, absolutely love it, couldn't put it down. 4 stars, really liked it. 3 stars, it was okay. 2 stars, did not like it. And 1 star, hated the book. And which of the characters did you identify with the most? Is it Delphine, Vonetta, Fern, or Hirohito? And again, of those of you who read the book, do you plan on reading the second in the series, PSB 11? Okay, so I'm not quite sure where the answers are going and if we'll be able to see them, but at some point we will be able to see them. Maybe they're in the chat.
Adam, can you share the survey results with us? Okay, maybe we'll have to come back for those survey results.
All right. Okay.
Thank you so much, Linda and Melissa, for sharing your thoughtful insights on this wonderful book. Oh, looks like we have the survey results now.
Oh, I'm so happy to see that people want to read the second book. And I also related to Delphine. Good, I'm glad to hear it. Glad these results came back so positive.
We're so happy that you enjoyed the book, and we got to hear from you about your experiences with it. That's really nice. So thank you, Linda and Melissa. Now I'm going to turn over to Nadia Estela, who's our arts educator, and she has planned a really fantastic activity for all of us today. Thank you, Nadia.
Thank you, Kristen, for that. Hello, everyone. My name is Nadia Estela. I am a local artist. I'm here. I'm based out of Montclair, and as Kristen just mentioned, I am the artist educator attached to the William Paterson Galleries. Before I go ahead and I start our craft today, I wanted to share my screen and show you guys some of the inspiration behind this project. So you will find at the moment that at William Paterson University Galleries, there is a current exhibition called The Weight of the Body Selections from the Permanent Collection, in which the gallery has used permanent collection in order to rethink and contemporary voices of thinking of the 19th Amendment of the women's rights movement. And as you can see, here we have Patricia Cut Sampler, which will be the inspiration for today's craft. I believe we will be sharing on the chat the online exhibition so that everyone may be able to view the works that are attached to this wonderful exhibition, again, called The Weight of the Body. Here we go. So to begin, here we have Patricia Cut Sampler. It's a monoprint, lithograph, and embroidery. Lithograph is a type of print that is sketched onto a plate. And when we say monoprint, is that every single print is different because the process is that using a plate, they basically extract the image, and then oil ink is placed onto the plate. So for example, you would have a plexiglass like you have here, and you will sketch into the plexiglass your image. Once the image is created, you provide oil-based paint, and you rub it into the crevices. Once the oil is transferred onto the plate, you run it through the printer, and this is your extracted image. So you see here on the bottom, you have the plate in which an image has been sketched into. So this is the beginning product here, and this is your final product in which you then are able to extract the image. However, when you use it several times, this is what makes it a monoprint. If you use this exact same image, every time you run it through the press, the image changes. So that is why no two images tend to be alike, and that is why it's called a monoprint. I wanted to actually show you guys this Andy Warhol silk screen, which actually works a similar way, in which a photograph image is burned onto a screen, and then panels are run through the image in order to extract the image. So for example, here we have four different panels in which you have the black, the beige, the pink, which includes the eyebrows and the background, and then the black. Another example of this is Andy Warhol Muhammad Ali's. So this is on the right-hand side, you have the photograph where the inspiration came from. And on the left-hand side, you have the silk screen print, which again, here you have the yellow, the red, the brown, and the black. And to go back to Patricia Cut's, this is essentially a plate that has been run over and over several times. And then she goes ahead and sews these things, sews the images together to recreate the shirt. So all the images that are extracted are different from one another. Oh, sorry. That being said, today's craft, we are looking at the historical era of 1968 and how during this time in the book, we learn about Bobby Kennedy, we learn about Huey Newton, one of the founders of the Black Panther Party, Martin Luther King is mentioned, and Bobby Seale. So here I have a couple of quotes of people that were living during that time. And when we think about essentially this craft, I was really thinking about this ideas of separation and mending, and what it feels like to receive a postcard in the mail, or a birthday card, or something that, that just lets the other person know that they're thinking about you, that you are special. Especially during this time of isolation, how does it feel to get a piece of mail? It feels amazing. And whether it's a birthday card or a letter from a good friend, in times of disagreement, have you ever written an apology letter? Oftentimes, this gesture of self-reflection can be hard, but helps us gain a better understanding of a situation. So today, using these quotes of these leaders which we find in One Crazy Summer, I would like to start our craft today. And this idea of mending, what does it feel like when, so we want to, as we create this postcard, we want to share messages of justice, love, and unity. Stop share here. And we will provide in the chat the quotes that I just pulled up. So I just want to go over this idea of mending, this idea of what it feels like when you rip one of your favorite shirts, or maybe your favorite teddy bear, its button comes loose. And then, so it's obviously something that makes us uneasy. It brings us about sadness. But then you have the other part of the mending, of the love and the care that is shown when someone takes the time to mend your favorite shirt, to place a patch on something, or to sew that button back on and you feel complete. So with that said, I want to go over some of the materials that we will find in our kit. So we have here our index cards. We have our glue stick. We have marker and our crayon. And you also received a craft needle as well as buttons and a baker's twine. That said, we also will need for this craft a scissor, which you did not have in your kit. However, if you do not have a scissor, I will also make sure that we plan accordingly. So the way we will start our craft is, I want you to grab the side of your crayon, and I want you to go ahead and start by creating some texture onto your index card. I want you to just go ahead and just rub the side of your crayon onto the index card. Okay, so it should look something like this, your finished product. I am also going to look over at some of my quotes from the civil rights era, and I'm going to go with, "Forgiveness is not an occasional act. It is a constant attitude." And that is by Dr. Martin Luther King. What I'm going to do is, from this quote, I really am enjoying the word forgiveness and attitude. And I'm going to transcribe that as part of my quote. However, these two words, I'm going to leave them out. So using my crayon, I'm going to write, "Forgiveness is not an occasional act." And I kind of like the word act, so I'm going to underline it there. "It is a constant attitude." Oh, I forgot that was one of my words, a constant attitude. So with my Sharpie, those two words, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to highlight them. I'm going to write those down. With my second postcard, I'm going to write things that I hope to translate with this postcard. We're thinking about unity, the themes that come up in One Crazy Summer? Love, understanding, peace. And this can go on and on and on, as many words as you can fit into your postcard. I'm going to go ahead and just then rip my postcard and extract these words. So here we go. We have peace, understanding, unity, and love. You can put these words off to the side. We'll use them again later. And I'm going to grab my string. I'm going to grab my string, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to thread my string onto my needle, like so. I'm going to go ahead and just thread my string through. You want to hold a piece of it on one end. You don't want to pull it all the way through. So this is what it should look like, okay? However, when you pierce your postcard, you want to be holding the string on one end. What I'm going to do, I am going to add my buttons as well during this time. So I'm going to pierce my postcard. And during this time, maybe my button actually doesn't go through my needle. So what I'm gonna do is just push with the sharp end of my needle. I'm gonna just push the thread through. Here we go. So you want to just thread that through. I'm having issues with this button, so I'm going to go on to the next one. Here we go. There we go. So here we go. We have our button, and then you want to again thread it through one more time and just pierce once again the postcard and thread your button through. Your button should be nice and fastened at that point. We're gonna thread it. Mine came off, so I'm gonna thread it one more time. Oh. And then I'm going to go ahead and pierce my postcard one more time. I'm going to then create sort of a border and run my thread all the way towards the other side. I'm going to pierce one more time on this end. And I'm gonna create a border once again on this side. So this is what it should start looking like at this point. So right here, I have a border and I have one button here. I'm gonna add another button onto this side the same way that I did on that other side. I'm gonna grab, so again, this button doesn't fit. Oh, it does, but you could just thread it, use the sharp end of the craft needle and place it that and loop it through the small hole of the button, like so. And again, loop this way. Here we go. And still, I'm still with that same string. So I haven't moved, I haven't cut my string yet. I'm still using the same one piece of string, okay? So right now I have my second button here, okay? Now I'm gonna pierce once again the postcard. And loop that through. I am actually gonna add a third button on this side. This last button, and I'm going to pierce once again my postcard. So this is kind of like what it's starting to look like right now. Okay, I'm still using my one string. I'm coming towards the end of it. I want to just keep looping that through, feeding it through all the different holes that are in the postcard. Okay. And on this last one, because I decided to go from back to front, I'm going to loop it one more time through the button. Again, I'm doing this a lot faster than some of you. It might take a little longer to just get all those buttons on, and that's perfectly fine. And using the thread, the last bit of thread here. Once again, my thread came out. So I'm threading this through. And I'm piercing once again. So basically we are sewing and using this invisible labor, the invisible labor of our mothers, right? Or grandmothers, this labor of love that often goes unseen to create this beautiful border. So this is what my card looks like now. I have my border and my buttons. Another thing you could do if you do not have the patience for the buttons, you can glue those on. So this is the end of my string, and this is what the back of my postcard looks like. I'm gonna go and I'm going to, we're still at the, so, and we're going to tie the back of our card. And that excess string, if you have a scissor, you just cut that little bit of excess string off. Okay, so now going back to my Dr. Martin Luther King quote. And so we also are looking at the women's movement and this idea of wanting to be seen and the ideas of wanting to be understood and to take part of the democratic process of having rights and love. Because one of the things that I actually don't know who said this, but my second grader said to me, which was one of the inspirations to as well of this craft, he said to me, "Mom, I'm learning about all these different wonderful things about the civil rights movement." It was around Thanksgiving, and he said, "A right is not a right if it's not granted to all." So thinking about forgiveness is not an occasional act, it's a constant attitude. You can use your little, your borders kind of like a clothesline. So I was thinking about clotheslines as well, and about Patricia Cut's shirt that is not only mended with this paper, the recreation of the image of this woman holding her child, of protecting them. So we have unity, right, that we wrote before, and understanding. And if you send this to someone, right, it kind of creates this conversation in which, and you have love, and I have peace. I have joy as well from a previous. So all of these, you can leave them like this, or you can grab your glue stick. This is where your glue stick comes in. Because all of these ideas that seem like a given are things, are themes that we are still grappling with in 2020. So it becomes this layered mosaic almost, just like Patricia Cut's shirt, of wanting joy and understanding, of extending to the other. So it's almost like a living, breathing work. You end up saying, and then someone will, whoever you send this postcard to, you can say, "I read this wonderful book called One Crazy Summer, and I decided to extract this quote that is by, in this case, Dr. Martin Luther King, that forgiveness is not an occasional act, it is a constant attitude. And I hope for joy, understanding, peace, love, and unity during this time." And so this postcard then becomes more than just an object. It becomes a source of a conversation, of a phone call, and having those around us that we have not been able to see them and to let them see us. And with this, I hope you enjoy this craft, everyone.
Thank you so much, Nadia. That was really wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for this program. This is a pilot program, and so it's a brand new collaboration between the William Paterson University Galleries. Nadia is our arts educator, and we're so happy to be working with the libraries in Little Falls and Wayne, with Linda Belen and Melissa Dunn. So we're going to be sending you a survey so that you can give us feedback as we are looking to develop more of these workshops in the spring. We think it's really important to find activities for us to read and to engage in art making during these challenging times. And there's a lot of rich connection between literature and the visual arts. So we're very happy to explore these with you. I wanted to let you know that we developed this activity around an exhibition that was up during the fall semester. The exhibition is currently closed as the semester has ended and will be reopening in January. But in the chat, you will see a link if you want to experience the artwork virtually. You can view Patricia Cut's artwork and other works that are from the university's art collection. So thank you again to our collaborators, to Nadia and Melissa and Linda, and to all of you who joined with us to participate from all your different libraries. We're so happy to have this time with you, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and keep an eye on our website. We'll let you know about future programs in the spring. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.